Hello, welcome to the Bloomz demo. Today we're going to look at how Bloomz is designed to really be the universal app that connects every parent in your school community, as well as make sure that it provides you the rich set of tools that streamline the communication, coordination, and community building all through one app. Again, it's very simple to use. It's instantly familiar because of its experience is similar to the Facebook-like experience. Both the teachers and the parents will feel instantly familiar. Now I'm going to switch between the desktop view as well as the mobile view. Both of them are fully featured capabilities. That means everything that you can do on the desktop, you will also be able to do it on the mobile. We'll talk about it in more detail. Let's start with the desktop. It can be accessed on all major browsers: Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Edge. And on the mobile platforms, it's available on the iOS and Android platforms, which means iPhone, iPad, Android phones, and tablets as well. If one of the parents for some reason does not want to install the app, either because they don't have enough space on their phone, they can still access the full functionality of the app through their mobile browser on all the major mobile platforms. The next thing that Bloomz does is also it seamlessly integrates and connects with your email as well as text notifications. In fact, we recommend that both the schools and the teachers invite the parents via either their phone number or email. At that point, Bloomz becomes your communications hub. In other words, you don't have to wait for parents to sign up to the app to start communicating on Bloomz. In fact, by following this recommendation to invite parents via email and phone numbers and starting to communicate through Bloomz app, will ensure that in about 10 days, more than 80% of your community will jump onto the apps. Now let's look at how the app is laid out. Then we'll get into all the tools that are there and then how elegant and simple they are for you to get started in using. Now let's look at the desktop experience quickly. On the left side is where you have the all groups, which is, think of this as the aggregate of all the feed across all the groups that I am explicit member of. If I'm only explicit member of a classroom, I see the communications. Similarly, if I'm an explicit member of a school, I'll receive those communications. So you can be rest assured that Bloomz ensures the security and the privacy of the communications that you're doing. In this case, in my account, I happen to be part of few communities, which in real world may be unusual because you will mostly see one school or a couple of schools. Below that, you are seeing the classes that I'm part of. So Bloomz supports various types of groups that includes the school communities, classes, the childcare rooms, the troops, the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, sports teams, and other types of groups such as staff groups, PTA groups, and so on. So it's truly one powerful app that can facilitate multiple types of communications to all come together in one place. And in the middle is where I'm digesting all the communications. In this case, I'm in the all groups and then all the feed comes together here. And as I scroll down, the feed is very similar to Facebook-like feed. We'll spend a little bit more time. And in the middle panel, again, still I can jump into calendar, which just summarizes all the upcoming calendar events, including any volunteer signups that are tied to the events. We also can see just the signups. The signups is the area where it pulls together all the recurring as well as one-time volunteer sign-up items. Media is a very powerful way to aggregate all the media, whether it is photos, videos, albums, documents that parents need to have access to. One we do is automatically we aggregate all the photos, whether they're shared through posts or messages and everywhere. It's automatically collected here. And again, only the media that I have access to. And then albums, you can actually create albums that group photos and videos related to a field trip. It could be related to a back to school night or Valentine's Day, anything that you want to collect all the photos, and you can optionally enable parents to contribute to those albums as well. And then in the documents is where you can share commonly requested documents, links, attachment, like it could be PDFs and other types of files like PowerPoint, Word documents, and so on. So it's a great way to put together all those commonly requested documents at the fingertips of the parents. And finally, the community aspect is where the parents get to connect with other parents. We do have options where schools can enable parent-to-parent communication or disable it. We have seen historically that at the classroom level, it's very, very highly effective to enable this parent-to-parent communication so that the parents feel like they are finding higher value of this app, such as they can schedule play dates, carpools, and so on. That helps them add more value to their own use of Bloomz. Coming back to the feed, if we look at the right side of the screen, you are looking at the messages. So these are the messages that are either one-on-one, it can be in a entire classroom or the group level communications, or it could also be in a small group communications. So depending on what your needs are, again, only the members who are explicit members of these threads will actually see those messages. That means other parents will not see any private conversations that may be happening between a parent and a teacher. We also have the notification center here, which right now is empty, but any pending notifications, any student submission if I'm a teacher, any invitations to calendar events, and any requests that the parents may be sending that require access to the class community, all of them come together in one place. And at the top here, the create button is your entry point to all the rich set of tools that we can use. Let's take a look on the left side in terms of how this feed gets filtered when I jump into a particular school group. Now, right now in the school group, when I'm in the school group updates, these communications are very similar to what I was seeing in the all groups, but everything is filtered down to this particular school. Either it is calendar, signups, media, and members. In addition, there is one extra tab which is specific to the schools because schools operate like an umbrella community. So they basically include all the classes and the groups that are part of the school underneath them. So this ensures again the safety and security and the visibility and the administrability of the app. So that if I'm an administrator at the school level, I can come in and look at all the classes that are being created here and communicated to. And if I'm an administrator, I can jump into any of them. And it's also very easy to create classes. So to create a class, I would just click on this create button at the top, plus create class and group. And as you can see here, there are various types of groups that we support. And these groups, depending on the groups that you choose, they automatically have the appropriate roles and tools that are optimized for those types of groups. So if I were to create classes, I click on classes, come in here, and you can see here I can actually bulk create. So I could add multiple classes. And once you create the classes, I'm going to skip for now. And then once you create the classes, you will see that all these classes are listed here. You can click right here as an administrator. You can invite, and you can invite teachers first. And inviting is very simple. Again, you can invite them via emails or phone numbers. Just simply copy paste the emails here or type in the phone numbers or the emails right here. You can invite teachers first and then invite parents as an administrator, or you can invite teachers and let the teachers invite the parents on their own to their classes. And any parent that is automatically added at the class level automatically becomes a member of the school level. That again ensures that the privacy and the administrability of the information is automatically protected. So only the parents of your school will have access to the information that's being shared appropriately. As we scroll down, the same updates and information can be filtered down to a particular classroom. This is typically what a teacher would see in a classroom. Again, every page has a beautiful branding. You can upload a cover photo and a mascot, which gets used in an easy way to refer in other places. There's also color you can set up for your theme. And in the settings is where you can get to all the default settings for your classes and communities. And then same thing, if I go into the staff group, we can see the similar information. So with that background, let's now look at how this desktop experience maps to a mobile experience, which is again optimized to take advantage of the mobile layout. As you can see here, the top menus on the desktop have moved to the bottom so that they're easily accessible right from the fingertips of your phone. Switching between to the desktop, so these are the top menu items, and then on the mobile they are at the bottom right here. Similarly, the entry point to creation of all the tools, the create, which is accessible right here, is now moved over to the bottom as the plus button here. So you tap on the plus button, you have all the tools right here. Now to get to the filter of the groups in the specific either school or classroom communities, all you need to do is tap on that left top icon and it opens up the same left menu options. And on the right side where you see the message icon, you open it and then you can see all the pending messages and the instant access to the message. So that gives you a fairly good overview of how the app is structured and how easy it is to access either at the entire specific group level, specific school level, or most parents would probably consume on the all groups view because that's the aggregate view of everything. Now let's look at my feed to really understand the different types of communications that can happen and how Bloomz makes it extremely simple to receive all these communications literally through one page. And that's the power where they don't have to go to multiple pages to really stay on top of what's important for them. Now, right here, you are seeing the announcements. The announcement is like a pinned post, a post that you are pinning to the top of the feed for a period of time. And just like all the posts, you can post with photos, you can have links, you can have attachments, people can like, comment, everything. And as I scroll down here, I start seeing different types of other communications. This one is related to our behavior or activity communication, where if a particular teacher uses in the classroom the behavior component, and as the student reaches a certain milestone, you will start receiving, the parents also will see this on their feed, where and when they reach a certain goal, in this case, 25 points to earn a flower. It could be, there are different other characters that we are introducing. So depending on the choice that the teacher makes, it could be a rare flower, it can be a flower, it can be a different type of character that the student might be earning. And that goes into what we call the student's timeline, which also parents can see, which later we'll get into the depth of it. And as we keep scrolling down, just wanted to show you the different types of communication. Here is a post with a photo, and here is someone, in this case, the same author again, going back and adding a comment with a link. Here is another post with a photo. And in this case, you can also see, if let's say I'm not an English native person, and then I really need to understand this in my language, and I have configured my language as Hindi, and we support about 84 languages. So literally in one tap, we are able to see that whole text has been translated into Hindi. Particularly various parts of the country have different translation needs, and this is one of those great tools that ensures that no parent is left behind. So even if you are sending communications in English, they can translate to their preferred language, maybe Spanish, and also other languages, French. And then the power of this translation is also that if the parent wants to communicate back, they could potentially communicate in, say, Spanish, and then you could translate it back to English. You also have view counts. So you can actually see when you send a communication, how many parents have really viewed this. And do I need to resend this communication, remind them? So all those tools are also available. Let's keep going through the feed to get a sense of different types of communication. These are all for posts with different types of, photos. And here is how, if you enable the parent-to-parent communication, and as the parents come into your classroom, other parents are now getting to see these parents, and then this would be a great way. If I'm a parent interested in connecting with this other parent, I can send a message. Maybe my child and her child, want to do a play date or carpool, other things. So it's a great way to build that community that supports your school again. As we scroll down here, let's look for different types of communication that we haven't seen. Here is a link. When it is a link, we generate a nice preview. Here is a video. This particular member teacher shared a video of, you can just play it right here. Looks like a video of some birds here. Let's keep going to look at more types of communications, particularly the coordination related features. Here is a parent-teacher conference that I have scheduled. If I'm a teacher, I have scheduled it. I can see who are all the people. In this case, its slots are filled. As you can see here, these are all signed up. In this case, of course, it's the same parent because it's a demo class. But in reality, you might have different parents signing up. Here is an event. It's a picnic. It's again a demo event, but you can see here this is lots of parents. Imagining these are the parents, they have all signed up, and it looks like in this case this one is open. Let's say if I wanted to sign up, all I need to do is click on this, click on how many items that I'm signing up for. I can remind myself, maybe in this case maybe a day before, because I want to go and buy those items from the shop, and I can leave a comment. If maybe the clarification of what type of bottles I'm buying, or maybe my phone number just in case I'm behind. So click on sign up. It's as simple as that. So the requests are now filled. As I scroll down, you see this is another type of the same volunteer or sign up items, but in this case you're asking for people across multiple days. So this is repeats every 2 weeks. 14 times. That's weekly, twice every 2 weeks. So now you can see here, if I expand it, I can see the dates, next dates, and you can see that first day was all filled, but then the next day is still open, so I can sign up right here. Again, a link. You can attach files like this, PDF files, any of the types of files that are there. You can just also share events that are added to the calendar, but also notify the parents when those events are going to be coming up. In this case, there is no RSVP, but you can also set up RSVP if you want parents to come and attend those events. Maybe in this case, a year-end party could be an RSVP if you choose to. Here is an example of an alert. An alert, again, as you can see, the red marker here indicates that it's an urgent communication, and we prepend the text urgent communication from so-and-so, whoever is sending it, to all these communication notifications that are alert types. And we also ensure that even if the parents choose to customize their notification settings and not to receive certain types of notifications, alerts will override all those settings and make sure that we reach the parent through every means that the app has access to. It could be through email, phone numbers, and the app, all the means that we have access to. Here is an optional video that we have introduced. This one is optional, and on top of the premium for the schools, there is a premium for the parents on this one. But it's a very, very beautiful way to take all the photos that you have been sharing and then create a memory video that the parents can download. This is about a minute long. We automatically customize this based on the best photos that parents have been shared with. I think that gives you a fairly good sense, and here are the last two items I wanted to cover here. There is a conference. If I'm a parent, I'm receiving this conference. It's very similar to the volunteer sign up items. In this case, all I'm signing up for is a particular timestamp or like a particular slot. And I've already signed up here. Let's say if I wanted to cancel as a parent, I can also remove myself. It's removed. If I wanted to sign up, I can sign up right here. Again, in this case, I want to be reminded an hour before, and I can tell the teacher that I'm driving from maybe distance, so I may be late. So if so, call me at this number. I can leave such a note, and then I sign up right here. That slot is now taken. And then here is an example of albums that it could be, in this case, summer album. You can jump in it and you can see all the photos that have been shared here. So now that we have understood all the ways in which different types of tools are able to come together in terms of the content that parents are able to interact, streamline the communication, coordination, and community building all through literally this one page. Now let's look at how we can start creating these tools. So to create the tools, again, as we looked at it, you just click on this plus icon, and it gives you all the set of tools. Let's look at post. Post is very similar to a Facebook post. This is the one that you would use to share a regular class update. It's not very time critical or time sensitive, but it's like an ongoing update. Typically, what happened today in the classroom, what happened today at the school, and anything that the parents just need to be aware of. You would communicate this. And as an administrator, you can actually send this post to as broad as you want. In this case, I happen to be seeing all the classes that I'm part of. I can send to all the classes. If I'm an administrator of multiple schools, I'll also see the multiple schools. I can send to either one school or the entire school. Similarly, if I wanted to really not send to the entire schools, but then drill down into a particular classroom and send to specific people, I can also do that. So in a sense, you can send this communication as broad as you want or as narrow as you want. You can always remove the recipients that you don't want to send to. And once you do that, you can leave a title and share any message. And you can attach photos. You can share also links. If you put links right here, it generates a nice preview automatically. You can attach videos. And if you're working either late in the evening or maybe over the weekend, and you don't want this post to go at that time, you can always schedule this one. So you can schedule to go maybe the following Monday or the next day at a certain time frame. You can also block comments. That way, parents, when they receive this one, they can only private reply back to you, but they cannot directly leave a comment that other parents will see it. You can also do this afterwards. So if you were to send a post and then you realize that you don't want to engage in any community discussion afterwards, you could also block that at a later time, go back and edit it and turn off the comments. This is for administrators, again, a powerful ease of use tool. So if you're posting something here, you also want to share to your Facebook page, you can do that, and simultaneously it posts onto your Facebook page. So that's post. Now let's look at student work. Student work is now automatically narrowed down, and the privacy is protected so that only the parents of that particular child will have access to this information. Now this can be done by the students themselves. So we have a student-driven portfolio system where there is a code that the teacher can share to the students. Students can use either an iPad or Chromebook or other types of devices, and then capture the work that they are doing and annotate it, as well as take videos and add notes and post it to their student work. Now let's take a look here. If I were to go into this classroom and then pick this particular child, now that child's parent will receive, when I submit this one, they will receive a notification that their child has posted so-and-so student work. Let's take a look at quickly how that will look like. If we were to take some photo here, and in this case, the student could be taking a live photo if it is an iPad or an iPhone. And then when they come in here, so in this case, it's a picture of an iPhone talking about how to turn off the mute button or turn on the mute button. So let's say if this is something that I am writing as a student about how to do, and I can add my voice. So I just started recording my voice, as well as I can annotate on this either with drawing, or you can also use the arrows, change the colors. And now when I pause it, it actually creates an audio which I can play. How to do, and I can add my voice. So I just started. Now when I save this, this essentially becomes a video that takes that image with the annotations and then the audio and makes it a video. So it's again a great way to capture those show and tells and ongoing projects that the students are doing. It's added to the students' portfolio under the timeline, which is accessible to parents, but also as a teacher, you can always go back, as an administrator, you can always go back and see that it also grows with the child, so it can grow year over year with the child. So that's student timelines. Now let's look at awards. Awards is a way in which you can now track the in-class activity of the children and also use this as a tool to either recognize their milestones that they're achieving, or even track their behavior and then make sure that the class is managed well. So in this case, as you can see, every child has a flower pot. Essentially, they're working towards blooming these flowers. And in this case, this child has already earned some points, and these children have to yet to earn, and these children have already reached a certain milestone. That's why there is a flower. In my class, I have configured 25 points minimum as the way to earn the flower. So in this case, when I say I take Madhav and then I'm going to recognize him for great teamwork, so that just give him 6 points more. So now the 13 points, and the flowers or the plant started growing. Now he's been participating well, then that's another way to recognize that. And it's important to note that we also, while we have the positive things, there are also things that you can add which might be require improvement or the needs work on the student side. And it's also valuable to capture this, and you can choose to give either negative points or just capture the event. Both will work. And let's continue to give a few more points to this child to see how the flower starts blooming. So now it's about 23. As I said, 25 points is the limit for this class, which I can configure. And let's say I'm going to now give this been on task 2 more points. Boom. So right there, the flower, and there is a surprise flowers. There is a way in which the students can work towards earning rare flowers. And every 5 flowers, there will be a rare flower that will come in, and the students can keep track of that on their timeline. So let's, as a teacher, if I wanted to view the timeline of this child, you click here. In this case, as you can see, this child has been nothing but positive. If there are negative points, I can also see that as red points here. And the history of all the flowers that they've earned. If I wanted to delve into a particular flower, I can click on it, see the history of it as well. So that's, in a nutshell, what the awards capability is. Daily activity is something that an early childhood class will use, just to kind of make it very simple here, very similar to the behavior, but in this case, a child is being tracked for, let's say here, feeding, potty, nap, or send a reminder about missing or needing formula, needing diapers. So it's a very, very quick and instant way for an early childhood center to use Bloomz to track all the activity, as well as make sure that the reports are instantly accessible to the parent. So that's an early childhood class, which is the daily activity. Let's look at announcement. Announcement, as we talked about, is very similar to post, but with a time window. And during this time window, the announcement gets pinned to the top of the feed. Like if I were to scroll all the way back, which is how most of the parents will start the app with. So they're not going to miss this. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you put only the things that require really attention. That way, it's changing just in time for them to pay attention. Alert is very similar to post again, but as we talked, alert overrides users' preferences for notifications, prevents urgent communication from teacher, whatever the person that is sending it, as well as gives you the visibility in terms of who has viewed, who has not viewed, just like other posts. So you really can ensure that this message goes to every parent. Now let's look at the other tools here. The last three tools are all about calendaring. Now you can create events right within Bloomz, which is similar to creating any event right here. You can choose the class calendar, you can be all-day event or specific times. You can also repeat. You can repeat it every week or every Tuesday and Fridays. So it gives you all the rich set of tools to communicate and set up your events. But you can also choose to link your existing calendar onto Bloomz. How do you do that? You can just go into any of your school or class pages. So if you go into your school page in this case, you click on the settings, go into the edit settings, there is a tab for calendars. So this is an example of where this school has configured their Google Calendar, and we provide you instructions on how to find the iCal link for various types of calendars. So you can actually plug it in, and we sync every 4 to 6 hours. I believe it's about 6 hours. Every 6 hours it will sync. So if there is a change in your Google Calendar, it will automatically come here, and then the parents can access it right from their Bloomz account. Volunteer help is where you're asking for people to sign up for either items or people themselves. It's very simple. To ask for items, you just click on need items. And let's say this is a back to school night. Then you can say I need cookies. I need 20 of them for my classroom. And I need chips packets. Maybe I need 2 of them. And I also need people to help me. So I can say setup. I need 2 people to help me with the setup, and I need people to help me clean up. Maybe there's always more time it takes for cleanup, so 3 people. And I can put the detail of the event as well as add the location if it is a classroom or maybe at a different location. And as I scroll down, you can again do this repeat. So if this is an event that you want every week to happen, where you want a parent to come in and volunteer for something, you can say every 1 week on Tuesdays and Fridays, I need somebody to come in and repeat for the next 10 times. Then it becomes a volunteer event that gets assigned to the class, and then automatically, just like we have seen how to sign up for events, the parents will be able to sign up through the app. Last one is the parent-teacher conference, which is again a very most loud feature on Bloomz. It's super simple to set up a conference. Typically, most schools do these conferences either on a single day or multiple days. So you can choose to add either a single day or multiple days. I'm choosing 3 days here. You can change all these settings, by the way. And by default, it's in this case starting from morning 9 till 5. Some schools do only in the afternoons, then you can change the times. But if some schools, they do from morning to 5, but then in between they may have either obviously a lunch break or even sometimes a class break. Maybe they're busy till from 10 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. They're going to be in the class. You can change all these values, and then each time slot is it 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 15 minutes, and break gives you that transition period. You can also choose to not let the parents see the names of other parents, who signed up. This way you can keep the signups private. Click on next, then automatically generates the time slots based on the choices that we have set. We said from 9 to 5, but then 10 to 12:30 is break time. So it automatically blocked that time. Now you have these time slots. Now on top of this, you can further customize. Maybe on day 1 from 2 to 3, you're busy, maybe a staff meeting. Maybe towards the end of the day, you're willing to open up extra slots. So you can open that and add that to 5 o'clock and so on. You can add the extra slots. So it gives you that additional configurability and customizability. Then you click on next. At this point of time, this is a test class, so not many people, but if you were to have all your parents, they will be listed here. You would typically, we recommend that you invite parents with siblings first. The advantage is that now those parents across multiple classes, if all the teachers do around the same time, then the those parents have a choice to pick maybe the time slots between this class and the other class at the adjacent to each other, so that as a parent I can just drive once to the school and do both the conferences and I'm back. Now, you as a teacher, after giving a day or so, you could always go back and open up to the rest of the class so that the remaining parents can now pick the slots that are available. And then it gives you a message that you can configure, you can send it. So coming back to, in a nutshell, all the tools that you have at your fingertips, Bloomz streamlines communication, coordination, and community building all in one app. It's the only app that has put together about 12 different tools that save time for administrators and educators, and it also saves time and friction for every parent. If there are questions, we would love to hear from you. You can send us questions at support@bloomz.com. Thank you.